Hello beautiful people, just looking at my hair thinking I need a haircut, and yeah, winter is upon us. Okay, anxiety. I used to have a lot of people asking me about how they can help themselves overcome anxiety, and this is more specifically to a kind of an event or something that's happening, not generalised anxiety, which perhaps will need a lot more in-depth work than this tool. Now, this is an NLP process, and it helps you focus on the positive outcome as opposed to the negative. Now, I'm going to give you an example of when and how you use this based on a personal example of mine. Now, I used to work for Kellogg's, and I got involved with doing presentations out into the community. I used to do probes clubs, businessmen, and I loved it. It was a challenge that I really, really enjoyed, especially the questions and when they were challenging, because it was like, no one's going to get the better of me. So I was very confident in presenting to the general public, pros with businessmen, businesswomen, whoever. Never had a problem with it. Might feel nervous initially, but went on to do a brilliant presentation, if I don't say so myself. But yeah, it felt good. And so I left Kellogg's and went on to become a teacher, and been doing my PGCE, knew all of obviously my fellow students. And I remember this one time, we used to kind of obviously contribute to the lesson all the time, never had a problem. And this one time I jumped up and ran to the front of the class to present whatever it was that I was doing. And as I stood in front of the class, I kind of couldn't speak. I was like, oh my God, what's going on? And I really struggled, and I can even feel part of it now here. It was like I struggled. I couldn't speak. It was like, what on earth is going on? I used to do these presentations with Kellogg's, never had any issue. And yet, standing up in front of this class now, and I've contributed all the way through my PGCA, but that very moment, I struggled. It's like, what on earth's going on? No surprises that many years later, I kind of worked out exactly where and why I fell apart standing in front of a classroom, as opposed to feeling immensely confident standing in front of a room full of businessmen. And that goes back to, guess what? Surprise, surprise, being humiliated as a child in front of the classroom. So what happens sometimes when you feel this anxiety is my mind went back to a set point when I was 9 years old in an Afrikaans class in South Africa, where I tried my best to present, I think it was a poem or something like that. And the teacher, instead of kind of going, well, great attempt there, humiliated me. Absolutely humiliated me in front of the class. And the class just laughing, thinking it was hilarious. So needless to say, when I stood up in front of that class, my subconscious mind went, whoa, hold on. We don't want to be doing this. Remember the last time you did it? And so sometimes anxiety is there as a protective measure. It doesn't feel like it in the moment, but it's there to protect you. So my subconscious mind was going, whoa, no, we don't want to do that. Great outside, presenting to a business club, they're all fine, they're all great, they're wonderful, but not a classroom of children. Now, obviously, I needed to do something about this because I was going to present in front of kids, but I didn't have a problem per se with that. So there I was, stumbling over my words, going, what the heck is going on? So anyway, many years later, I chose to leave teaching, and I decided I wanted to become a therapist. So I did my hypnotherapy training, did EFT training, and did very, very well. And my NLP course was run by a brilliant man, and at the end of it, you had to do a presentation. So the first thing I thought of, oh God, the last time I did a presentation, and it was with my teaching, we had to do the presentation after that, I was thinking, oh my God, I fell apart, I couldn't speak, I was so embarrassed, I was mortified standing up in front of that class. And I remember actually talking, it's funny how your perceptions as well, I remember talking to somebody who I went to Botswana with teaching, and I said, oh God, do you remember that time when, and he went, no. So when you think that everybody remembers that humiliating time when I stood up in front of the PGCSE class and fell apart, most of them don't actually remember. So anyway, I was going to do this presentation for my NLP course, and it was at the end. And I thought, oh God, the night before I couldn't sleep. I was feeling sick. I was going, oh, this is going to be awful. I'd contributed to the NLP course for the whole week, did one-to-one work with people, did loads of things. But it was that presentation that I was absolutely dreading. So I spoke to the trainer, and well, it was two trainers. It was a guy and a young lady. Now, she took me away for 10-15 minutes, and we did this simple exercise. And I told her what was happening, and we went through this exercise, repeated it several times until I could feel myself shift from, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, I've got to do this presentation, to, let's go. I feel confident. And I'm going to go through the process in a minute. So anyway, get up to do my presentation, and both the trainers knew that I felt, well, absolutely. And they both knew that. So anyway, I stood up and did the presentation. To begin with, I felt really nervous, but it went. And I was like, oh my God, this is like going back to when I used to do the presentations with Kellogg's. Everything was great. It was absolutely fantastic. The people were laughing at my story because it was a bit of a funny situation that happened at work. And at the end, it was like, wow, I felt amazing. This had gone so well. It was not what I was expecting the night before, but it's what I practice with the trainer. So at the end, the other trainer said, now, Mairead, I hope you don't mind me saying this, or do you mind me saying about how you felt? I went, no. So they explained, well, Mairead was absolutely it before doing this. However, would any of you realise that from her presentation? Everyone's like, well, no, completely shocked. So that's the power of this simple technique, that it can change the way you present your presentation, or whatever it is, because when your anxiety kicks in, guess what you focus on? The anxiety. Oh my God, it's going to be awful. It's going to be, oh, I'm just going to make a mess. I'm going to be humiliated. And you run this program over and over and over and over and over and over, and you don't sleep because you're running this program. It's going to be awful. It's going to be hideous. Absolutely awful. So guess what? Well done. Your subconscious mind goes, well, she's telling me it's going to be shit, so it's going to be shit. It's going to be awful. She's going to be humiliated because that's what she's telling me. So what you do is change that, and you start to focus on the positive. So you think of the event, you think of before the event, you go to the event and spend about 5-10 seconds focusing on how calm you sound, focusing on the audience participation. Perhaps you can hear them clapping. You focus on what you can see, people actively engaging, watching you, and thought about what you're saying. Then you go to the end of the event, and then you focus on how fantastic you feel at the end, because it was perfect. It went so incredibly well. And you do this and repeat this process until you get to that end, when you kind of take yourself past the end of the exercise that you were doing, presentation or whatever, and you start to feel that you do feel positive, you do feel elated because it went well. So what this does is, instead of focusing on the anxiety, it was going to be, oh God, it's going to be awful, it's awful, you're telling your subconscious mind what it's going to do. So no surprise it ends up being awful. So change that. Start programming your mind for success. And when you're doing this, you focus on a positive and a perfect outcome. Remember, this is in your head, and your subconscious mind can't tell what's real and what's not, because the same part of your mind that programs images, dreams, is the same part of your mind that processes images that you actually see. So I'm going to put a link at the bottom of this as well to a written summary of this technique for you to access as well. But it's very, very simple. Think about the event, literally focus on that for 5-10 seconds, hear what you hear. Calm, strong, assertive voice. Hear the audience participation, positively clapping. See, hear, feel confident. And then take yourself as if you've done the presentation, it all went perfectly well, you're kind of reminiscing about it, you're feeling absolutely fantastic. Do that and repeat it until you get to a stage where you kind of go, yeah, it feels real, it feels like it was a success, and it feels like I got this. When that happens, and that's what happened to me, I kind of got to a stage where I kind of went, yeah, actually, I'm feeling now that instead of that anxiety, I'm feeling positive, I'm feeling calm, I'm feeling like that was a success. So have a go at this. And like I say, you can use this for any situation, but always when you're doing this, kind of think about a positive, perfect outcome. Hear what you can hear, see what you can see, feel confident and calm. And then, like I say, when you get to the end, focus on those feel good feelings and then ask yourself, where's that anxiety now? And it won't be there. So your subconscious mind will take that in and go, oh, actually no, there's no anxiety there. So, easy technique, powerful technique. It worked with me and I couldn't believe how dramatic the change was from me thinking this is going to be awful to, oh my God, that was amazing. So have a go at this technique. Focus on the positive, focus on the perfect, and see how dramatically the results change from that one you were dreading to the one that you knew you would have a positive, perfect outcome. Take care.